Hi,
Wow.
everyone. Welcome back to a new episode of Metanoia of the 20s. This is still our English podcast from the special season that we're beginning in English. And today I'm here with my dear friend, Earn or Kongpanya. She's my dear friend from Thailand, live from Thailand right now, live from Bangkok. And she's
Yeah.
agreed to join us with a 12-hour difference, guys. 12-hour difference. Right now here it's 9 a.m. and back there is 9 p.m. So that's something
Yes.
that's worth mentioning. How are you, Ern? Thank you so much for joining me.
No problem. It's my pleasure to join you in your podcast as well. I always love to do this with you. And you invited me for so long, and
Yes.
I keep saying oh my God, girl, let's do it next time, and here we go. It's
Yeah.
finally time to do podcast with you.
Yes. I'm so glad you finally said yes. Yes, I really wanted you to be here with me because we have so many things to talk about. And I remember talking about this project with you because it started when we were both living in the UK. And I remember
Mhm.
you helped me a lot with this too. And we always talked about these challenges that we have when we are in our 20s, both of us in our 20s. And so I didn't introduce the topic yet because fun fact, Ern and me, we are both only children, only child. How do you say
Only
that?
child.
Child. So, and we connected a lot through that process because there are a lot of things that I think we have in common growing up, being only child, and also being women right now, being a girl that is an only child. So we're gonna
Sure.
talk about that, navigating solo through your 20s and how that affected us on the person that we are today. So tell
Mhm.
me more about it. How was your experience growing up as an only child? Maybe share a fun anecdote that you have, something like that. Tell me more about that.
I think the biggest challenge, no, not biggest challenge. I mean the biggest thing that I think of the only child um face nowadays, not only nowadays, but every generation, is there's tons of expectation from your parents. That of course they don't say it to your face, but somehow you can feel it. You can feel all the expectation they set for you, you should study harder, you should be like this, you should grow up and work, you should be in this career path. So it's kind of I think biggest challenge that our parents just give to us
Yes.
as an only child.
Yes, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with that. And one thing that's funny is that when we were both talking before, knowing that we were like we shared this path, I remember that we shared also like you have traveled a lot. You have been to the
Mhm.
US, you have been to Japan, you have been now to the UK. So all these trips, I think that were also like kind of unconsciously set to be the best. Girl, travel. Yes, you're my only
No.
child, and you gotta be the best and do this and do that. Ern speaks like 5 languages, so still like, yeah, you should study, you should do this, you should do that, and it's great. I mean, you're great, you're super smart and everything, but same thing happened to me. It's like my parents, since I was little, especially my mom, would be like, be on this, do this after hours class, do arts, do maths, travel,
That's so
go
true.
here, study languages. D- you don't have 1 minute to breathe because you need to be the best because you're like the only project of your parents. There's no going wrong with you. It's the only
That's
thing
so
you have to
true.
do.
Like once you mentioned about the spatial class, I've my parents also are also the same. Like when I was a kid, they was like, oh yeah, let's take extra course for music or taekwondo, swimming. There's so many things that I need to take, and I was like, Mom, I need, I just need 1 second to breathe. But to be honest, once I think back, at that time, I was like, I feel thankful though, because like without that course, I won't be able to, for example, like if I didn't take taekwondo class when I was like 10 years old back then, I wouldn't be like taekwondo athlete. I mean, not nowadays, but I used to be. But I mean, yeah, like think back to it, like I was so proud of myself, and I mean, that's all. Like all the credits go to them.
Exactly. I mean, it's a huge perk because it's like all the attention goes to you, and but it's also like a positive and a not negative per se, but I think it has its cons because you get a burden. It's like, yeah, sure, it helps you. All the credit goes to them, and I'm also really grateful for all the things that I've done, also the
Mhm.
language, also the trips, everything. But it's a burden that I think makes us mature faster than the other people that are
Mhm.
our age, because we
Mhm.
have this responsibility to be the best, but most
Yeah.
guys in our class are like, no, let's just play, let's just be happy, let's just be children, and we're like, no, I need to go
Well,
to
we have to do
our class, I need to go to my taekwondo class, I need to do my singing lessons, I need to go swimming, guys, I don't have time to have fun. So it's like,
exactly.
no, I mean, so I think also that one thing we were talking about, and I like to get into that subject because I think it's really important to see that it comes from back then, that both
Yeah.
of us had issues. I remember when you told me this, like, has this ever happened to you, Ale? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, it did happen. I thought it was the only one. But both of us had issues with our classmates when we were little. And it's
Mhm.
hard. I mean, when you think about it, we laugh about it right now because we're on our 20s. It's like back then, and
Oh.
sure, we
Mhm.
matured. But back then, when we talked about this, it's like, no, dude, it hurt me. You ghosting me, you ignoring me, you making me
True.
feel like I wasn't part of the class. And why? Because maybe I was, like you used to say, like I have a resting bitch face. And it's like, yeah, but I did have the same expression. And I think that we had our minds so set on things that we were doing, adult things, that
Mhm.
was so hard for us to be having these relationships with children that are not thinking the same thing as we are. And we may seem, maybe, I don't know, how can I say this, maybe too good for them, and they may have that idea that we were like, oh, I'm better than you, but it's not like that. It's, I think there's so much
Yeah.
behind that. So what was your experience with that?
So to be honest, like once again, I feel like back then, even until now, like I get along with adults, like adults that is basically like 20 years or more than me, like 30 years old. I feel like wow. Like even back then, even like 10 years ago, I got along with like 40 years old people or like 50 years old people, and I feel like as you say, like sometimes they think like your class, like the classmates of mine, sometimes they think that like I thought that I was better than them, but it was like unintentionally. I didn't do on purpose or anything, but I tend to like not show off. I mean, I didn't mean to show off or anything. I just like, oh, I mean, I know it. I mean,
Exactly.
I know. Like, I mean, I know it, and I should speak up. I should tell the teacher. I should like, oh, I know it. But
Yeah,
then, but then it seems to them like it seems like I try to show off. I try to prove that I'm better than anyone else, which unintentionally, and because back then, even nowadays, when I sit still and no emotion on my face, I look like I get mad at someone.
yeah,
Which, like, oh my god. I mean, once I heard like some of my classmates say that to me, like, oh, like your face look like you get mad to someone. I was like, I didn't feel anything. I was like no emotion. I was like no angry, not mad. I'm not sad or anything. I'm just like still.
exactly.
Sometimes I'm happy, but it's just my face.
Yeah,
So yeah,
really
basically
true.
it.
That's totally true. And they get this idea like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna hang with this girl who thinks is better than us and everything.
Mhm.
And obviously, they do this as children and they might do it also unconsciously in some ways. But to be honest, and you share the same thing, but in my case, it happened mostly when I was in fifth grade in primary school, elementary school. And it hurt me a lot because I never was the kind of person, and I told you this as well, who used to have like a ton of friends. Like I wasn't the most popular girl in school, but I was okay
Mhm.
with my short group of friends. And I didn't get like badly with everyone else. But when I was in
Mhm.
fifth grade, I feel like everyone in my class started this treatment of ghosting me. Like I wasn't even there. Like I didn't exist. It was like
That's
group work. To me, it was the worst. I was like, okay, you and I got even to a worst attitude. I was like, okay, so you guys don't want to hang with me? That's fine. That's fine. Group work, teacher, I'll do it alone. I'll be my own group, okay? I don't care about you. I don't care about any of you. But when I got home, I would cry. I would be like, oh my gosh, why doesn't anyone want to be my friend? I felt so bad. But obviously, I didn't show it because I was like, okay, it's okay. My mom is my friend. It's fine. My dad is my friend. I don't need anyone else. So
oh God.
so I was like, I feel like that affected me even into my 20s because
Mhm.
just like heads up guys, like Earn and Shreya that you met them on the last episode, and also our dear friend Mona, they're like this short group of friends that we made that is like the closest friends that we got in 1 year in the UK. So it's like we don't have like a
Yeah.
whole group of friends. So I feel like that same thing I dragged it into my 20s, and it's still
Mhm.
hard for me to make like connections, like not deep connections, but I feel like that's also a perk because we make deep connections with people. Like it's either black or white. So it's like all or nothing. We go
Mhm.
in with 100% of us or we don't go at all. So I feel
True.
like that's not a bad thing per se, but at the same time, it also comes with the con that we cannot make like light connections. So I don't know if
Mm.
that helps you.
I feel like I mean, my mom also asked me the same thing. Like, how many friends do you have? Like, you have only like, I mean, 4 friends, including Suman, I would say.
Suman,
Like,
yeah. Suman.
and I was like, yeah, that is like 4 people that I that I would say like my best friend.
Uh-huh.
But all like at the same time, like when you say like I know a lot of people, oh my god. And I was like, I mean, yeah, like I know a lot of people. There's like so many people. There's like my acquaintance. Like I get to know them. They get to know me. Some of them I call them friends,
Mhm.
but like I mean, I might have like few bad friends, maybe like 4 bad friends kind of. But like yeah, but I think like that because of the past, like the previous time that I start building kind of like the wall because I don't like I mean I don't want to get hurt again.
Yes.
So I just like build the wall and then just kind of like get to know that person slowly and slowly. And once I get to know them and like once we shared our life together, we talk about deep like we use deep conversation. We talk about it a lot. We talk about like culture, religion. It's like what? What kind of topic is that?
Yes. We went in deep conspiracy theories. We were talking about like planets, stars. We would talk about anything that's deep.
Like from like relationship to like spiritual belief to
Yes.
religious belief. And I
Yes.
was like,
About
wow.
healing, psychology. We were talking about all this stuff and like some other people, which is not bad. We are not judging.
Mhm.
But some people have lighter relationships, which is a good thing too. But I feel like we cannot do that like that because we were mature at a younger age, talking like you were saying, like 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, and usually people
Mhm.
that age talk about these topics. So we were used to having these kind of conversations. So
Yeah.
since we were little, we wanted to do that. It was like, oh, you want to play ball? No, I want to talk about
No.
politics.
I want to talk about stars. I want to talk about like religion.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, okay, this girl is weird. Let's not hang out with her. So
Yeah,
yeah.
that was happen. Yeah, that was happen.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I think we have a lot of perks, but also we have a lot of challenges that we went through when we were little and we dragged it up until now. But when I think like when you're conscious of these things, you're able to like scale and be able to overcome them, the things that you need to overcome, and like also work on the things that are really good for us, like being mature about a lot of things, like understanding and being really observant. I feel like you share that too, like you can see through people, and you sometimes we're quiet in a group, both of us are like, but it's not like we're sad or anything. It's like we're just observing, guys. Like we know
Like, we know.
everything that's going on right here.
We know.
We know. We know. We know.
Yeah, we know.
Exactly. So it's like I feel like that's also a really good thing. And speaking of one more that I think it's also really cool that we also talked about, sometimes our friends that have siblings, and I'm not saying this is like a general rule, I'm just saying it happens, but they're not used to being alone.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen to everyone, but I used to talk to this about Earn. We're like, oh girl, what are you doing? I'm just singing my heart out in my room. And I would be, I'm just dancing here. I'm just solo dancing. Yeah, do you have time? No, today's my me day. Okay, no worries. Like tomorrow we can hang. Yeah, sure, whatever. But what are you gonna do? I'm gonna be in my room. Yeah, me too. Okay. And that's the coolest thing we have. It's like we can be totally alone and be okay with that. That's super
totally.
That's super cool. What do you think about that?
I would say I agree with that.
Yes.
Cause I usually call my room like, I mean, remember in our like accommodation, I call my own room is like my safe space.
Yeah.
And I'm just like I just sit there, or maybe like watch some movie, or maybe like sing from my heart out, or just like doing nothing. But that, I mean, like even doing nothing in my own room is like it's fine. I mean, just rest, just like have, you know, like all day resting, doing nothing, or maybe like spend time with myself, like singing or like writing, reading. I mean, it's like it's good enough. So
Exactly. And I feel like we also developed this, like now that you were mentioning the reading part, this imagination part that also makes us readers. And I don't know if a lot of only child out there share the same thing. But if you do, guys, please put on the comments if we're right, we're wrong about this.
Yeah.
But like Earn was mentioning to me the other day also, like, oh, have you read this book? Oh, have you read this other book? Oh, have you read this other book? And we're like bookworms. So we start like reading a lot of things because since we don't have like that many friends when we were growing up, like kind of like books become our friends. So it's kind of sad. It's like, no, guys, it's like beautiful. And I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's also a perk, being able to connect through stories. And I feel like you also mentioned you read the this book of Anne with an E.
Yes.
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 That's beautiful. And I feel like we connect with the characters. We connect with this kind of lonely characters that are living like the same way as us, and they become our friends. That's really, really nice.
So like, I mean, kind of like the bookworm that like my parents could leave me in the bookstore for like 2 hours or 3 hours, and they just like went around the shopping mall like doing some shopping or anything, and I was just like in the bookstore for 3 hours, and then just like kept reading.
Exactly. Or going to the museum and just enjoying ourselves like we were a date and we were like, no, I'm just gonna go this way. Don't worry, I'll go this way. I'll meet you on some other place. Don't worry, let's just enjoy the culture, enjoy our being here. It's so happy, so nice. And that's beautiful, you know. I feel like aside from being only child or not, I feel like the relationship we can have with ourselves is something that sometimes some people lack and they
Mm,
need to be with someone else. They need to hang with someone else all the time. We are creatures of socialization. I think that's true. We
mm,
like man is not an island. I agree with that. But at the same time, I feel like if we don't have a good relationship with ourselves, then
mm,
we're nowhere. Like I feel like that's one of the problems that we have currently in society, that we cannot deal with ourselves. We constantly need to be surrounded by something else. But I feel like that's something good for us that we're used to doing that.
mm.
We enjoy ourselves. You know what? I'm gonna upload our video of us singing Frozen to promote this
Do
topic.
it, do it. I mean, like from that video, we had amazing voice, like such a perfect collaboration.
Yeah, it looks amazing. We just needed the outfit, but guys, come on. When you watch it, you're gonna see like, oh my gosh, these girls are amazing. Don't worry about
It's
how
like
they look. No makeup,
it's
no nothing, but
and funny at the same time.
funny at the same time. Yeah, we're the best. We're the funniest people you're gonna meet. So it's gonna be fun.
Jeez.
But yeah, that's a fun thing, you know? Like Erin also
Mm,
used to always tell me yes to everything, and I love that about her because I feel like you were getting outside of your comfort zone many times. And
yeah,
I feel like that's a good yeah. Like I didn't want to go to those musicals, but
but I went to. I
you
went
went
there.
and you enjoyed it. I could see you like
I loved it. Even nowadays, like I turned to be such a like musical fan.
yes.
Beforehand, I never thought about like going to the musical or like going to um what show did we see?
Yes.
Like we saw so many shows already.
We went to so many shows on the West End streets. It was insane.
Yeah.
We would run to them. Like we would be late to them sometimes, but we would be there just listening to the songs, singing some of the songs, just hanging there, doing our stuff. And it would be so
Yeah.
beautiful to enjoy that. But sometimes like Earn didn't have anyone to go with to do whatever she had to do and she would go alone. I didn't have anyone to go with, I would go alone. And we wouldn't care about this because it's like we enjoy also doing it with by ourselves, like
Mhm.
on our own. So that's also really, really nice. But I feel like I'd like to finish, maybe start wrapping up by the one challenge that I think comes with the parental expectation and in general expectation from us. And I feel like
Mhm.
that may make us a little bit insecure. At least in my,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not enough sometimes because of those expectations that always set the bar higher, 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 higher. And I feel like I can never reach it. Like there's always something else that I need to do. There's always some
Mhm.
perfectioning that I need to do. And I don't know if that
Mhm.
happens to you.
I also agree with you because like beforehand, I mean still until now, I also think that sometimes I also think that like, oh, like I'm not good enough for this, I'm not smart enough, I need to do more and more and more. And there's like no ceiling above. It just like have to go beyond the limit
Yes.
always. But I mean until like nowadays I just need to remind myself just like I mean I'm good, I'm doing good. I need to be confident to myself, like confident just like I mean I'm doing good right now. I mean like there's always room for improvement, but I just need to remind myself just like I don't need to please anyone. I just like do it for myself, that's it.
I totally
So
agree. I totally agree with that, Ern, because sometimes I feel like we have that pressure of being perfect. Because
yes.
we're like I was saying before, like the only project of our parents. And
Mhm.
somehow it's like, no, I mean, like I need to be perfect because like you said, the credit goes to them. So
Yeah.
who's gonna have that burden? In your case,
Mm-hmm.
it's like a little bit harder still because your parents are like, yeah, Ernie, you can do it. Do this, do that, do the business, do this, keep doing
And
that.
then one they said it, you go all the way through, and it's like
Exactly.
I won't let you down. I won't let you down. And
Exactly. And it's like
boom.
little person inside of you saying, I cannot let them down. Maybe they're not even saying anything anymore, but it's like,
Exactly.
I'm their legacy. I'm the only legacy that they have. And that's a huge pressure, even if they don't say it per se. But that's a huge
Mm-hmm.
pressure because whatever happens, you're their child, the only one. It's like there's no going wrong with you. So I feel like
You're,
we should let go of that pressure. It's super hard, but we should
Mhm.
start letting go of that. And like I always told you, like do whatever you want, do what you like, do what you feel like is your path, because sometimes I feel like also parents may put some of their dreams on us unconsciously,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that's hard to let go of because we've been doing this since we were young, way younger, and it's like sometimes we mix it up, like is this my dream or is this my parents' dream? So
Exactly.
how do you deal with that? Like how do you make that connection, that disconnection? How do you do it?
I mean, it's really hard. Still, really hard nowadays. That I sometimes just like, is this like my parent dream or it's like my own dream? I just need to like. Sometimes it get mixed up.
Yes.
It's like what they used to dream is like it's become my dream. Maybe I like confused or something like that. But I would say the easiest way to do it is like live with it. If you're happy to do it, then do it. I mean, you just need to um, focus on yourself and ask deep down through your emotion. That like if you're happy with it, if you don't have any issue with it, do it. But once you get like unhappy to do it, then you just need to like it's time for you to realize that maybe it's not meant for you, or it's like it's not your dream anymore, then you just like need to change. And I believe that like if I once decide to like, oh, I need to change my career, or like I need to change the career path, I just like I think my parent will understand. So
I
it's
feel like
like
that's really important to get to that point that you were saying, like if I have a change of heart on anything like career path or whatever it is that my
mm-hmm,
parents had their expectations on, being able
mm-hmm,
to say that last part that you said, I think that's the most important thing. Like my parents won't stop loving me, my parents will be okay with that. Maybe they
mm-hmm,
say something, maybe they will tell me, are you sure? Maybe they will question it, but if they
mm-hmm.
be happy, that's the only important thing. I mean, that's their goal, and
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
they know that. So I think that's important. That's important to realize. I think that's a huge step to know. Like whatever change
Mm-hmm.
you make in your life, it's for you. You're not living your parents' life, and I think that's the hardest thing to understand for all of us. We're our own
Mm-hmm.
selves, we're our own person, and we have our own dreams, our own paths, our own mistakes, and we need to embrace it and just keep going. I mean, this is a huge path. I mean, right now we're doing metanoia of the 20s, but in a few years we'll be doing metanoia of the 30s, and it's like
30?
we're still
Oh my
young,
god,
still young.
we're still young. I mean, 30 is the prime age. So,
Exactly. 30s are the new 20s, and we're
exactly.
still younger. And remember, 20 forever, 20 forever.
I mean, if our mind is like youthful, then
Yes,
20 forever.
yes, why not? Remember, we
Mm,
also look younger than we really are. So
yeah, true.
yeah, we can do it as long as we keep doing our stuff. Yeah, but yeah,
Mm,
I mean, I'd like to finish and wrap this up with one piece of advice from myself, and after I'd like you to give a piece of advice for
okay.
the only children who are maybe entering their 20s and have these feelings. So I'd like just to say that you're not alone. I feel like I used to think that a lot, that I was alone, that I enjoyed my solitude, but I still felt lonely somehow. So it was like a backfire thing. And I feel like you're not alone. I realized that I made so many great friends. I didn't think I had it in me to do it, to make these connections. But I feel like you're gonna meet people along the way. And the only thing that I would make as a tip or an advice for you guys would be to open up, to have an open mind. Have an open mind and be embrace change, because sometimes it's hard for us to do it. But you're gonna meet so many amazing people, so many friends, close friends, best friends around the world and in your hometown and everywhere. So keep those connections and feel proud of having these deep feelings all the time, because that makes us who we are.
Yes.
So, what's your advice?
I would say that like whatever decision you made, just remind that like the person who gonna get effects to this decision is yourself. Don't think about like, oh, I need to please my parent, I need to please that people, I need to please everyone. You don't need to please everyone, because at the end of the day, once you made a decision, the person that will get affected by that decision is like gonna be you alone. For example, if you choose to please your parent by choosing this career path, but you just need to realize that like the person who's gonna work with it is yourself, not them. So do whatever you want to do in the future, do whatever you like, and be happy with it. That's a piece of advice from me.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much. It's perfect. It's perfect. I think that's a perfect way to wrap up this amazing episode. Earn, thank you so much for giving me the time to be here and to talk to me about this amazing subject. And yeah, I mean, let's share it, guys. Whatever you feel like commenting, please put it on the comments. I know my ego is huge. I think you're gonna be commenting, but yeah, like, subscribe, and follow us. And please, you're invited to keep coming to the episode. Let's keep talking about these subjects that are really good for us to talk about.
Yes, totally.
Please come back, and we're gonna keep talking about these things, and we're gonna share our songs and everything, guys. So keep subscribing to see the little bell that guys say there. I'm an influencer.
Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be super amazing. Super amazing.
Super amazing.
Amazing. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Earn, and we'll see you on the next one.